The sands of Arabia have lost a lot of their romance since the discovery beneath them of the biggest hydrocarbon deposits in the world. But Cheik Mohammed bin Rached Al-Maktoum manages to combine romance and reality. A 20th century politician with a lifestyle straight out of 20th century Fox. He's one of the finest horsemen on the Persian Gulf, and on his day, which is any day he chooses, he's also the finest marksman in his father's kingdom.
We'll try now because we have to do it sort of small competition, yeah? Against the others. And I challenge them, 6 of them together, with me, myself only.
Who won?
We did, of course.
His supremacy loyally confirmed, Cheik Mohammed boards his helicopter, chewing up the dry sky above his father's domain, the Emirate of Dubai. It's partly a tour of inspection, in his capacity as Minister of Defense of the United Arab Emirates, partly a joyride round Dubai, the largest of the 7 tiny sheikdoms that make up the former British trucial states of the Persian Gulf. For centuries, Dubai and the surrounding sheikdoms had little to offer except a haven for smugglers plying the Straits of Oman. Then the oil boom exploded onto the world.
You know, the wealth, there's a lot of ways to spend it. Because we want to build schools, hospitals, roads, military, and everything. We are starting from nothing.
The material progress of Dubai isn't matched by any advance in the sheikdom's political institutions. Cheikh Mohammed's father, Cheikh Rashid, is an autocrat who seized power in Dubai 50 years ago. The old man has shrewdly delegated much of his power to his sons. It's a direct, absolute, and very personal power.
ياخذ الجنسية من مخباي ويسطرني كف كلكم شهود وكلكم هناك كلهم هاللجنة شهود.
Much of Cheikh Mohammed's mornings is taken up in the exercise of justice, sorting out the kind of legal feuds and rivalries that Bedouin rulers have been dealing with for centuries. This particular argument is about a breach of the peace after this man's wife was insulted. As passions rise, the language isn't that of the British courtroom, but then neither is the justice.
كان اعطيهم والله املك اعطيهم الحريه يضربون الناس ضربوني الضرب اللي فيه ضربه جاي اصيح عند محمد انا جاي اصيح عند 4 ايام اصيح انت الجنسيه ما بتحصلها ما بحصلها لا المحاكمه كان من عندك انت الجنسيه انا ما ابغاها ابدا كان من عندك حكومه باخذها ولا من عندك انت ما ابغاها ابدا اسكت انا ما لي شغل انا كان من عنده هو ما ابغاها الحين نعم والله نعم.
Good morning. Good to see you.
Dealing with foreign visitors is another of the Sheikh's morning chores. It's a British delegation today. In the old days, the British protectors treated the Arabs with a degree of mild condescension. Today, Her Majesty's Under-Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs is anxiously deferential, taking pains to ensure that even his small talk is liberally larded with platitudinous respect.
Well, this is a good opportunity, Cheik Mohammed, for us to exchange views on developments. As you know, it's my first visit here. I've been immensely impressed with everything I've seen since I came to Dubaï, and greatly admire the leadership which you have yourself given, and the opportunities that we still have in so many fields for working together as two countries with such a long history of friendship and good relations and mutual assistance. It's encouraging to find there's still a wealth of mutual goodwill, which I think it's our task to exploit in the fields of defense and security and trade and political relationships, in fact in every field.
That's right. This is, we hope this, we know each other for a long time.
World leaders like Kurt Waldheim, Secretary General of the United Nations, receive their due of ceremonial respect. Cheik Mohammed is fully conscious of the uncomfortable interdependence of the industrial West and the oil bunker of the Middle East. He is also aware of the delicate strategic situation of the Gulf Sheikdoms. When the British pulled out of the Trucial States 3 years ago, they left only their tartans behind them to add splendor to the pipe band of Cheik Mohammed's tiny army. They left, too, a certain tradition of discipline and Sandhurst swagger. But that's not enough to fill the uneasy military vacuum in the center of the oil world that the Gulf Sheikdoms now represent. As the defense minister of the United Arab Emirates, Cheik Mohammed is acutely conscious of the military power of his neighbors. To the north, Iran, with the most modern armed force in the Middle East, the finest military technology that even the Shah's money can buy. To the south, Saudi Arabia is arming too, and the uncertainties following King Faisal's assassination are causing anxiety among its tiny neighbors. To the east, the Sultan of Oman is embroiled in a war against communist guerrilla forces, a conflict that could become contagious. The latest threat, however oblique, comes with the hint that the United States might intervene in the Gulf if supplies of oil were threatened. For all his political problems, Cheik Mohammed manages to devote a fair chunk of his day to the pursuit of pleasure, relishing the toys of status with a sublime indifference to mileage per gallon that only an oil sheikh can indulge in.
Describe what you are doing.
I was driving.
Cheik Mohammed is on his way to inspect his latest project, a summer lodge for entertaining his guests. The palace will have 80 rooms with a desert view on every side.
الجدار
قريبة بنضطر ناخذ 44 متر زيادة وناخذ الخط الأخير على تأكيد السرعة على طول. Cheik Mohammed, what are you building here?
Oh, I am building a house here in this very nice spot, very high. You can watch the whole Dubai from here. Other buildings will come and join it. You see, it is not only this and the reception house, and then there is a villa in between to make them all together. And this is the main body of the building, you know, this is the palace. If you want to fly the helicopter, then you fly it. And that's where you enjoy it.
For the 28-year-old Sheikh, his education at Cambridge and Sandhurst hasn't blunted what he still sees as his central function as a tribal chieftain. Cheik Mohammed's lifestyle may have the trappings of a Western playboy, but his obligations and his roots belong to his desert people. Most days he makes an aerial trek into the outback for lunch with his people.
The fly is going to eat us.
Before we eat the whole thing.
They are chilling.
Challenging is the word I want to know. When I speak in French.
Chilling.
Yes, it is the word challenge. When you remember when Erik told you, hey, I bet you won't do this. It was challenge.
Meeting his people strengthens the tribal link and gives him the chance to indulge his passion for animals. He's in the process of creating an animal reserve in Dubai.
Oh, she's 6 years old now. She got a beautiful baby. I'm proud of it. I just wait.
She unhappy or what?
She's happy but a little bit crossed now, you know. Seeing a stranger come around.
Does she think you're a stranger or what?
No, no. She thinks I am her baby.
1 in 3 of the Sheikh's people is a Bedouin nomad. It's a way of life uncomplicated by oil or politics. The most exciting event of the year, as this man explains to Cheik Mohammed, is the coming of the spring rains.
They were talking about rain they had and how much they are happy about the rain, because we don't have very often rains. It rains once or twice a year, which is make it very difficult for the Bedouin. كم شمال يعني بس
من الحدب هذيك منها شمال اذا انت ميت يا راد لشمال الشبك مره العين قبل شمال الشبك لشمال الشبك مره خلته لا تبغى تقول الياس
The desert is full of bushes and trees, and if you don't have rain, then you don't have the green grass. But when you have rain, the desert look better.
Men like Cheik Mohammed, with an apparent inheritance of dust, could inherit the oil-thirsty earth. But no amount of global power will deflect him from his ancestral priority as a leader of his own men. Cheik Mohammed may get his power from oil, but it's from the desert that he gets his strength.
Arabs are all come from the desert, and they always think their home is the desert. And of course the towns are, you know, to work and meet people, gather with them. But sometimes you want to go away to the desert.